In the darkened corners of Southeast Asia, beneath a tangled canopy of palm and mangrove forests, a legend stirs on the wind. A tale as old as the jungles themselves. She is known by many names. To some, she's Kuntilanak or Pontianak, but to most, she is a name spoken in whispers across Malaysia and Indonesia. The Pontianak. Each region, each village adds its own twist to the story. The Pontianak is no mere ghost. She is something far more ancient and elusive, and more haunting. Imagine, if you will, a woman, not just any woman, but one who appears strikingly beautiful, almost otherworldly, as she stands beneath the moonlight. She wears a long white robe that flows like mist around her body, shimmering faintly as though made from woven shadows and memory. Her skin is pale, almost translucent, and her hair, so dark it seems to absorb all light, cascades down her back like a waterfall of midnight. But it's her eyes that are most unsettling. They are black as coal, empty yet glistening, like deep still water that reveals no bottom. Her gaze is penetrating, chilling to anyone who meets it. Some say she walks with a grace that is hypnotic, but as she draws near, their allure fades to dread. They say she appears at dusk, on forest edges or by lonely roads where few dare to linger. A woman, pale and hidden behind long black hair, with a scent of frangipani that's sweet, but with a dark lurking rot. There are signs of her approach. The frangipani scent lingers, but sounds too betray her presence. Soft laughter that fades as she nears, or a distant baby's cry echoing through the night. If you hear her cry, it's already too late. Stories tell of ways to keep her away, salt and sharp objects like nails or needles, left by doorways or windows. But these are temporary measures. The Pontianak cannot be banished, only delayed. Protection won't last. Sooner or later, she'll find her next prey. It is also said that if you meet her gaze, you're marked. Victims often fall ill or vanish without a trace. For those who encounter her, survival is rare. If you feel her presence, don't look back. Move forward and ignore the voice calling your name. The Pontianak isn't here simply to haunt. Her presence comes with an eerie stillness, a momentary pause in the natural sounds of the night, an omen. Her name carries weight, a warning in itself to those who know the tales. She embodies the tragedy of unfulfilled life, a woman who perished either during pregnancy or childbirth. It is this violent, sorrowful end that anchors her to the realm of the living, cursed to roam eternally. Historically, legends of the Pontianak begin to emerge in oral storytelling, passed down from generation to generation among the indigenous people of the Malay archipelago. Some scholars suggest that these stories existed well before European contact and could date back to the time of ancient empires in the region, such as Srivijaya or Mayapaya. During these times, women held various roles, some even spiritual, as shamans and healers. But the image of the Pontianak became increasingly sinister with the spread of colonial rule. Some believe this shift coincided with outside influences that altered the perception of female spirits, associating them with danger, darkness, and impurity. What was once seen as a spirit of longing or protection began to morph into something ominous, an avenger of wrongs, a hunter in the dark. Unlike other spirits or ghouls, the Pontianak is a creature tied closely to the earth, specifically to banana trees, which she often uses as her refuge by day. In some stories, people say that her spirit can even be trapped if one were to drive a nail through her neck or the trunk of a tree where she dwells. To attempt such a thing, however, is to court death itself, for she does not forgive easily. Her rage is the fury of betrayal, the wrath of broken promises, and the sorrow of a life interrupted. For many, the Pontianak serves as a cautionary figure. She reminds the people of the sanctity of life, especially of mothers and children. Women who have heard her tale know the sorrow she bears and may carry a quiet respect, a shiver of empathy. She is a shadowy mirror to the struggles of womanhood, symbolizing how society has historically failed to protect the vulnerable, particularly women cast aside or disregarded. For some modern women, she's a figure of defiance, a ghostly reminder that their own voices, their own identities should not be erased. Strangely, tales of similar female spirits exist beyond Southeast Asia. In Western folklore, there's the Banshee of Ireland, a spirit who appears as a woman, wailing and mourning as a harbinger of death. In Greek mythology, there's Lamia, a figure who, like the Pontianak, is forever haunted by the loss of her own children. In Slavic legend, the Rusalka, a water spirit believed to be the restless soul of a woman who suffered a tragic death, also carries echoes of the Pontianak sorrow and anger. Even in Japan, the Onryo, a vengeful spirit who returns to right the wrongs done to her, shares this fierce ghostly presence. Despite their differences in name and region, these spirits share a common thread: the pain of being wronged, of being left unfinished, and of returning to exact a kind of justice. Religiously, some interpret the Pontianak as a reminder of what happens when one dies with unresolved bitterness, a warning against carrying anger and regret into the next life. Others believe she is a manifestation of society's repressed guilt, a restless spirit embodying the moral consequences of failing to honor and respect those who are vulnerable. The Pontianak's presence in stories encourages respect toward women, especially mothers, as well as an understanding of life's fragility and a respect for the passage between life and death. So as night falls and the familiar sounds of the world quiet down, remember this: the Pontianak is more than a spirit lurking in banana groves. She is a ghost of memory, an echo of grief, and a symbol of unresolved life. Perhaps in her chilling beauty, there's a lesson we've yet to learn. A reminder to respect the fragile balance between life and death, to protect those who cannot protect themselves, and to never forget that even the darkest legends hold a reflection of ourselves. This is Payne's Hollow, where the dead do not rest, and shadows carry the secrets of 1,000 lives lost. Tonight, we remember her, the Pontianak, her beauty, her fury, her tragic eternal journey under the pale moonlight.